Yes, it's true. The credibility is affected, the political legitimacy is affected, but legally it's still valid, unfortunately. Um, Now, the most important is what's going to happen tomorrow, the day after, and the month after.
Well, give us a sense of what it is that you might expect. I know there's been some concern that there may be violence in the aftermath of this vote. Is that something you're concerned about?
Well, I hope that we won't witness this kind of turmoil that we saw in the late 1980s, obviously. I think that really the situation now is the fact that the Minister for the Overseas Territories has arrived in New Caledonia a bit early, I think, but anyway, to start the new negotiation with the loyalist and the pro-independence representatives, because now, over the next 18 months, there are going to be new negotiations to develop a project on a new status for New Caledonia. So when you said before that this is the third and final referendum, actually it is not. There is going to be another one by June 2023, where the Caledonian will be asked whether they approve or not of the new status that is going to be developed over the coming month.
And what's your expectation then? I mean, clearly we've probably got a no vote today. Does that mean that these territories may not break away from France? Or do you think that, as you suggest, given this referendum that may come up in a few years' time, that actually eventually New Caledonia will be an independent country?
Well, that I am not a fortune teller, unfortunately. I wish I were. But no, what I mean is that, yes, indeed, if the demography is in favor of the Kanak, one point, maybe we could consider that if they have and they keep the right to hold a referendum on self-determination, one day they might indeed succeed. However, we have to consider the younger generations of New Caledonian, Kanak and non-Kanak. And maybe actually their objective is not so much focused on independence as such, but on actually being able to live a proper, decent life, economically, socially speaking, culturally speaking.
And I'm interested. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So actually, what I think is that really what we have to consider now is, again, the youth, and again, the identity of New Caledonia, French, okay, but Oceanian, from the South Pacific. And therefore, we really have to consider more and more a regional integration of New Caledonia, real strong connection with the neighbors, and for example, the economy or the what could I? There was a word I wanted to say. There is an economic actor. New Caledonia should really become an economic actor in the region. It has a mean for that. The younger generation have the knowledge for that. Therefore, we really have to develop that focus on the youth.
And I'd like to talk to you about the political ramifications of all of this, if I can. We've already seen today the presidential candidate from the far right here in mainland France, Marine Le Pen, tweeting to celebrate the fact that apparently the No camp has won this referendum. Just how politically important do you think this vote will be ahead of the elections in France in 4 months?
Not much, I must say. I mean, the candidate for the presidential election in mainland France are going obviously to have their say, but from tomorrow, the question will be swept away. The issue will be swept away because it's not a matter anymore. The conservatives in France are all in favor of retaining New Caledonia and all the other overseas territories within the French Republic. But honestly, I don't see how it could be otherwise anyway.